but today we're just going to cover post Dynamite September 27th. And to me, that starts with Edge coming to AEW. You can believe that. It was hard for me to believe, but I did see it with my own eyes. I got some clips. But let's start with the whole story. We'll start with the match that stemmed from was the TNT title main event at WrestleDream. It was Darby Allin versus Christian for the TNT title. Christian, the incoming TNT champion. So let's go through some of these highlights before we get to the Edge entrance and see what we thought of this match. Let's see what I clipped some highlights for this. Let's see what we got. We got this was the big spot that Vlad said was nasty, right? He just dumped him on. Christian dumped Darby on the steps. Very unsafe looking, right? I see these comments on Instagram a lot. Everyone's on Darby's Instagram, like, please, why are you killing yourself? Please don't kill yourself. You know, it's okay. You don't have to kill yourself. But okay. So Christian did tear apart the ring, which I think some wrestling pundits didn't really like it. But after that ring step spot, they brought the gurney out to take Darby away. And Christian did a frog splash onto Darby Allin, which I guess people don't really care about what the doctors are doing these days on AEW. So there's another spot right there where Darby got powerbombed onto the just wooden floor, I guess. No padding whatsoever. So taking some extra damage. This was a pretty vicious, hardcore fight. Referee got speared. Christian speared the referee. And this was where the fun started because I think Nick Wayne came out to take Christian's TNT title away when he was about to use it. Nick Wayne's mom was there, by the way, who's been chatting it up with Christian on Instagram. But this spot was interesting because this was the spot I think that everybody was awaiting for Darby to finally nail Christian for everything that he said about his mom and his father, who's passed on since. But that wasn't what happened. We got our first swerve. I don't know if you'd call it in a while, but the first swerve since AR Fox, I think, for sure, right? And Nick Wayne is now aligned with Christian. And this led to the end of the match. That was a pinfall 3 count, and Christian retains. And Sting, Nick Wayne is Christian's new son. So this is nice. I think he could use a strong, father figure at this point. But this was where the afterbirth kicked in after the match. They were going to beat down Darby and for everything that he's deserved for how he's treated Nick Wayne in the past few weeks. Obviously, he had this coming. And Sting came out. Sting is pissed off. And he tried to, take everyone out. But in the end, they got him too with Luchasaurus. Luchasaurus comes in and they got Sting down. And they're going to give him the concerto, as it's called. And that's when the lights in the stadium go down. And I think at that point, it could have only been one person. So the video package hits right when, someone's in need of getting saved from mortal death, from a beatdown where they were going to smash Sting's head in. They have time to play a video, pretty long video, of Edge driving to stadium. And he's got a nice, cool, classic car, I guess. He's got to show that off. And shows up, and it's the rated R superstar, Adam Copeland. Wow, Adam Copeland is here in AEW. Can you believe it? Plenty of time to celebrate and all this. And comes in there. I thought this moment was cool, though. As a Christian fan, as an Edge and Christian fan, we got one crazy, solid, dramatic moment here where we didn't really... I guess people knew what was going to happen, but for a moment, Christian was like, what are you doing here? Are you with us or not? And Edge swerved him, took the steel chair, and ended up nailing Nick Wayne instead. Nailing Nick Wayne and spearing Luchasaurus, and Christian left the stadium. But any thoughts, I guess, on Edge debuting before we talk about him on Dynamite? Big coup, huh? I guess this is the star that's going to replace CM Punk. Basically, they got a big name and from wrestling history, a Hall of Famer, a star. How about Vlad? We'll start with Vlad. You go first. What do you think of Edge in AEW?
Yeah. I mean, there were elements of this that was pretty good. The whole thing. I mean, I don't like when they're debuting somebody and they have the whole lights turned off and it takes 10 minutes to go to the ring when there's already something going in the ring already. Like there's something happening. So it's like, it reminded me of that Kenny Omega segment where he was getting choked out and he started, look at the Titantron, look at the Titantron, which was the dumbest thing I've ever seen. You know, but anyways, I mean, obviously it is a good get for AEW in a sense. But, you know, I think, you know, I'm a little torn because I've always liked Edge. I think he has a creative mind for the business, for wrestling. He always comes up with good stuff. Obviously, him and Christian together is gold. But, you know, I do think he's a little bit, you know, not say that he's past his prime, but he's a little bit starting to look a little bit broken down to me. So I think that's why I was hoping that he get like one great maybe feud with with Christian, and then maybe retire. But then he started talking about he's going to feud with all these guys that I don't want to really see him feud with, you know, that I don't really care about. I care about him and Christian, you know, but I really don't really think I care to see him versus Omega or all the other guys that he listed during the press conferences, because I don't think that would be appealing to me personally. But I do care what happens with him and Christian, and I do care about this current feud. And it is going to be interesting what happens going forward. By the way, Darby must be the worst friend in the world because everybody keeps turning on this guy. He must be like just something is in the air with Darby, man. Everybody hates this guy. Everybody keeps turning on him. I don't know. He must have done some bad stuff to these people because, as I said to Kahan, he is the worst friend in the world probably because every one of his close friends turns on him.
I've heard the saying, if you're everybody's friend, you're nobody's friend. You can't pick everybody's side. And Nick Wayne wanted him to pick his side in the whole AR Fox thing, and he didn't. So, you know, Nick Wayne didn't want to go along with forgiving Nick Wayne. I think that was understandable. To me, I saw it coming. I saw the swerve coming a mile away. But let me get some thoughts from Robert. We're 9 minutes into the show. I haven't heard from him yet. Let's hear about your thoughts about Edge. Are you excited about everything, about a big, long contract, and supposedly he's going to be there every week on Dynamite? So,
okay, well, I am. I mean, it wasn't as exciting as CM Punk's debut, but I would say this is short term a good thing, but not like good in the long term. Obviously, this is gonna be his final run. He's just he's past his peak already. So, yeah, that's pretty much how I feel about it. It's just gonna be good for the short term, and I disagree with Vlad. I do actually want to see him, have his feuds with. Well, I don't think he can have a feud with all of the names that he listed at, but at least some of them. I don't think his run will last long enough to feud with all of them. But I'm excited for it.
What does that mean? You think he's going to get hurt or something, or is just too old that he can't last?
He could still go, but he's not in his prime anymore. And I don't know how much longer he can, still go. So we'll just have to wait and see about that. Also about the match itself.
Yeah, the Christian Darby Allin match.
First thoughts. Nick Wayne's mom has got it going on. Nick Wayne's mom has got it going on. Okay, sorry. The match. So let me talk about the match. Okay, so I actually. Wow.
Yeah. Well, I agree with that. I agree with that sentence right there. Yes,
there's something we can agree with there. All right, cool.
I'm a fan of Nick Wayne's mom. In a good way.
Yeah. So I did enjoy the match up until that one spot where he got thrown to the steps, the steel steps. Like from that point on, it was hard for me to enjoy it because I think they took it too far there. Personally, and then when he got power bombed onto the ring, when it was just the wood, like that was another spot where I think that was unnecessary. So it was enjoyable up to that one spot, and then just kind of escalated. It was hard for me to enjoy. Like, thank goodness, what happened afterwards at the end happened, because like that would have sucked. Like, to see Darby just keep on taking more punishment and punishment without like something good happening at the end. So yeah, that's my thoughts on the match and Adam Copeland's debut.
Yeah, Vlad, we didn't hear your thoughts on that match at all either, but it was a lot of damage again taken by Darby Allin, and this time in a loss, and he got swerved in front of his home crowd of Seattle.
Well, yeah, I don't care about the swerve part, or I think the booking is fine there as far as who won, but what I do care about is the ridiculous amount of damage he took in the match, and I mean, some of it is very, very dangerous, and Christian tried to make it as safe as possible. There's only so much you could do when you're throwing a guy into steps head first, So I don't know. And of course, AEW is known to just forget about all the rules in wrestling. Like, all of a sudden, this becomes a no DQ match. He's taking stuff out of he's clearing the ring. All the mats are removed. I hate that, because if you're just going to do that, just have a no DQ match. Just have a no DQ match, set up as no rules and whatever have you. Instead of having a regular match and then just going and doing the same stuff you were going to do if it was a no DQ match anyways, So I don't know. That's my only. I hate that. It's a pet peeve of mine in wrestling. Why even have a regular match if you're just going to go all over the place and drop people on their heads on steel steps and frog splashes on the gurneys and take bumps on the actual wood? I mean, it's crazy stuff. To me, it's just insane. And of course, he kicked out of almost all of it. Which is insane too. That's just, I mean, it's like superhero video game stuff, and I hate that. I hate that in wrestling. There's no logic or psychology in AEW wrestling. It's just all nonsense. And then, but as far as the winner, okay, yeah, I'm fine with how it ended. There was a swerve that, like you said, Kehan saw coming, and a lot of people probably saw coming because of the whole thing with AR Fox, who was not involved in this thing at all. He probably should have been involved, but whatever. Anyways, yeah, that's it. That's all I got. I definitely agree with the criticism of how much damage Darby takes. I mean, it's insane. He's going to cripple himself sooner or later. It's just a matter of when, if he keeps taking these type of risks.
Yeah, we all echo that sentiment, I think. I think most people do. I think the only argument for it, I don't know if I told Vlad, but I mean, if I were to try to think of something from the wrestling point of view, from the wrestlers who really want to entertain the fans, or maybe they think that they're somehow doing something historical in wrestling or doing it for the love of wrestling, then, it's their own body. Yeah, they're adults. They could do whatever they want. But I think what we're all saying is that as far as our entertainment goes, we're not really getting entertained to the point where it seems worth it. I'm not really being entertained that much by it personally. So yeah.
I think I made the point in one of our text messages when Robert sent that MJF clip.
Yeah.
That, like, if that's all you can do, meaning what MJF said about, like, how he doesn't have to kill himself to get the crowd going crazy. He could just
at his post-match press conference at WrestleDream, right? Yes, he did a body slam, and it got a huge pop, which we're going to go through later.
Yeah, it got as big a pop as just about anything else that happened on the show.
Anybody
much, right?
flying anywhere or doing a dive over the top, and it was just a simple wrestling gimmick. And
I think it's just it's an indie mindset that you have to kill yourself to get the crowd reaction or get yourself over. And unfortunately, a lot of these guys are stuck in that mindset because nobody's telling them otherwise. Nobody's teaching them how to wrestle properly. And that's it. That's just it's kind of beating a dead horse because I've said it so many times. But yeah, that's the criticism I have for AEW as a whole.
All right, well, that was the Darby Allin Christian match, which was also the debut of Adam Copeland, as he's called now, not Edge. Let's talk about that for a second. I mean, it's not. He gets to call himself the Rated R Superstar, so that's cool. I think he should just call himself the Rated R Superstar. Forget Adam Copeland. Like, don't even use that at all. Just the Rated R Superstar. Christian versus the Rated R Superstar. Buy the pay-per-view. Oh, okay. That sounds cool.
And also, you notice as his entrance music, it starts off with "You think you know him" instead of "You think you know me."
They changed that one clip
because that part is owned by WWE. That one part, so they have to change it.
Okay, yeah, that's fine though. That was cool. It was cool that it was the same theme song. You know, at least that felt like Edge. The energy feels like Edge. It looks like Edge. He's just not called Edge. Although on his social media account is called Edge, I guess. So that's kind of funky. But okay, so let's stick on the subject of Edge or Adam Copeland. I don't know. For me, I'm just gonna call him Edge because I'm not bound to any copyright here. I talk about WWE and AEW equal, so I don't really care personally. And Adam Copeland just bothers me, man. So there's already a bunch of other Adams too. Adam, there's already an Adam.
Adam,
I need you, Adam.
It's an emergency.
So
let's not get to that ridiculousness. Let's save that for later.
We'll save that for later. I'll get to MJF stuff, but Edge did show up on Dynamite, so on Wednesday, October 4th, few days ago now. So he started the show and he jumped into Omega and Jericho's segment. So it was a very Canadian segment in the back. Where a bunch of Canadians up back there flapping their heads. But so Edge debuted here on Dynamite, at the beginning, at the very beginning. So at least that kind of builds a thread through the whole show. People are waiting to see him at the end because they did mention he's going to speak at the end. So it shows up at the beginning, and he's the very last segment too. And the last segment was where we figured out, I guess he was going to give his mission statement. And he comes in as the main event. They give him the entrance again. He's rated R. Shakes Shivani's hand, which is always a rite of passage when you enter into AEW. To tell Shivani how you used to see him as a kid and all that. And then he invites Christian in. So that's what we really wanted to see. And what did he say? He said that he wanted them to reunite, to have another run as tag team champions and to end their story, which was interesting. But he really genuinely asked him, even though Christian's a heel, he's like, this is what's been on my mind. You've been my best friend forever, and we're here and we can do this. And Christian just listened to it all in a very, very serious manner, gave him a hug at the end, and told him to go fuck himself. Which we didn't hear, but we just heard the crowd drop and oh damn, oh my god, and then Edge just looks at him, walk away. And as we all know, and he's already said this before, which I don't know why Edge is so surprised about this, but his one and only true friend is Luchasaurus, not Edge. So he's gonna stick with Luchasaurus, and he's going to have his first match, Adam Copeland, that is, with Luchasaurus on Tuesday. So that's his best friend and his son, Nick Wayne, at his side. And that's how the show ended. Dynamite. So, Vlad, we've got what you wanted, at least for the very beginning.
Yeah.
It's Edge and Christian are gonna feud right off the bat, which is cool because I thought they should have done that with CM Punk, right? When you knew you had him, when you have him in the palm of your hands, he's here and he's healthy, put him in there with everybody you really want to see him with. Then afterwards, if there's time, let him feud with, Daniel Garcia and Rey Fenix and whoever he had freaking matches with, wasted our time. But so they're starting off going for the throat right away, Edge and Christian right off the bat. What do you think, Vlad? You excited for that one at least?
Yeah, for that one I am, because like I said, I want to see this. I care enough about this because the history. I think they've had rivalries as well, or matches in the WWE. I can't recall now specifically, but I'm sure they did throughout their long run. They're together and whatnot. But I think this could be like a final thing that they can do together, and I think it'll be great, and it'll be better than them being a tag team because there's not really a lot of. I mean, yeah, they could work with FTR or something, but there's not really a lot of great tag teams in AEW for them to really go up against. So I think this is a lot better for to actually have a feud, And Christian is such a great heel. He is gold as a heel. Like, he is just on top of it. This is probably some of his best work, honestly. I think you could say this is some of the best work of his career.
He's the main heel on the show because MJF is the top babyface now. So Christian's carrying the mantle for the bad guys.
Yes, exactly.
What do you think of this segment with the "Go Fuck Yourself"? Was that good enough to just accentuate it at the end? Basically, we're not covering all of Dynamite. It was a thin Dynamite, but this was the conclusion of the show.
Right.
Go fuck yourself, buddy.
It was a matter of fact. It was to the point. Didn't have to say much else. I think he did say a little bit something later that like, oh, you have to face my real best friend, next Tuesday or something to that effect, right? But I liked it. Of course, I'm good with it. I mean, I don't know. I don't know about what the network thinks about somebody just cussing like that on air. I mean, obviously they bleeped.
Well, they censored it well. They covered it up for once. We didn't actually hear it. We just heard him say "go" and then blank.
Yeah, blank yourself. Go blank yourself. But anyways, I'm good with it. Everything about this is fine for me. I don't have any issues with this. I'm not gonna rail on this, and there's so much you could rail on AEW, but this was the one good thing from the show that I did enjoy.
All right, Robert, what about you? This segment at the end, Edge and Christian.
I liked it a lot. I think it would be fitting for them to reunite. This is towards the end of both of their careers. Well, Adam Copeland for sure, because he keeps talking about it. I don't know about Christian Cage, but yeah, I enjoyed this segment. There is one thing though. I have trouble not saying the name Edge, but whatever, fine. During Edge's promo, he did mention when he was talking about why he came to AEW. One of the things he said is the AEW Heavyweight Championship belt would look good around my waist. Right? When he said that, I was like, huh. Is he the guy that was wearing the devil mask? Is it possible that maybe his current run as a face, facing Christian is just an act, and that eventually there's going to be a swerve, and he's the one that ended up wearing the devil mask? That's what I was thinking. Like,
he hadn't debuted yet, but good idea.
Yeah, he hadn't debuted yet, but I don't know.
Possible.
It's possible.
Anything's possible. Yeah,
but so that could have been that group could have been Edge, Christian, Nick Wayne, and none of them looked as tall as Luchasaurus, so that I don't know who the fourth guy would have been, but it could have been anybody really. But yeah, that got me thinking maybe he was the one that wore the devil mask. Maybe just a thought, but yeah, I enjoyed the segment.